What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tiger Tran coming back at you. If you saw my first video, I was taking a look at the game. I actually ended up playing offline, and I played a couple more games, and I got to the final wave, and it was insane. I learned a lot, and it kind of got me to want to start over from the beginning, try to maximize economy, because to survive the final onslaught is incredibly insane. I don't want to spoil anything for you. So with that, we're going to kick it off. We're going to play the standard mode. It's still incredibly difficult. They did a great job with making this game challenging and fun. We're going to start it up here. My end time goal is, the first time I was playing through it, I kind of was just testing out a lot of the different units. I was trying to figure out what's good, what isn't. I did find there's this rocket launcher unit. It's like a heavy unit that's incredible. I think that is one of these really crazy must-have units. But there's this unit that costs 6,000 gold. It's like a Titan. I think it's the most Gozu of Gozu units, like the best of the best. Let's take a look here and see what our layout is. This game is highly dependent on your early position. One of the games I lost really kind of early. There's nowhere for me to build. It was super narrow. It was basically like this area right here was the entire base, and it was trying to pack stuff in these tiny little areas, and there's so many choke points. Plus there's no wood close to me, and I feel like that's one of the major things that will limit your success in this game is lack of access really to any one of the three core resources, which is, lumber, stone, and iron. Iron, which makes your basic soldier, which you need to get a bunch of those online early. Great. So that way you can actually have some solid defense. There's actually, wow, they're actually hooking it up with the wood early if I were to try to fast expand this way. We're just going to have her guard here, and then we're going to have her scout this way, him scout that way. Whoa, there's a big horde over there. So this is so close to the base. This will probably be my first source of wood. Stone I found. There's always a part of me that wants to start banking that resource early, but in this game, it's just not the thing. You end up capping out, and this game doesn't store resources off somewhere, like next to the storehouse. They just get lost in the ether until you unlock the marketplace, but that's pretty far down into the tech tree. So we're going to have her explore this way. We're just going to have him actually guard this choke point, and she's going to be my scout. We'll scout this way. This game is brutal. If one zombie gets through your defenses, it's game over. It's happened to me when, because sometimes you get greedy in this game. You're trying to be going for resources hard and fast, and you get wrecked because of it. Food. Thankfully, we have a big access to water in this build, or this playthrough. So this means you got a lot of early access to food, which is huge, because once again, that can also be a major stopgap. That was when base was super narrow. There was no trees, there's no water, or there was water, but it was only a little bit on one side. So I think I could build one fisherman's cottage, and it made me want to cry inside, because it just limits like your ability to be able to do anything. Are you sure? Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, right between the eyes. So we are gonna just start attacking stuff, just to see. Basically, what ends up happening, one thing, which isn't like a huge spoiler, it's a pretty cool game mechanic, is so whatever you don't kill at the end will attack you. So I made the mistake, well, not really the mistake, I thought that might be the mechanic, so I was killing stuff, but I pushed out too far to one side. And what's kind of cool about this game is basically the zombies get more difficult the further you get out. So I was pushing really far into like the bottom left corner, so it's just fighting all epic guys, and my army was not prepared to fight that many epic guys, because there's these one units like Banshee ladies. I think they're called Banshees, but they can one-shot any non-heavy armored unit, and that definitely happened to me. And also there's this long-range poison spitting unit, and that guy can murder you quite quickly as well. Like I'm pretty sure they one-shot rangers because my rangers seem like they're just getting spit on and just dying instantly.
Gotcha.
All right, now we're gonna have her
Faster
explore up this way. Tents are done. Fantastico. All right, we actually need to start expanding towards this lumber because gotta get that online early. I'm gonna try to attempt to tech faster. I feel like that was a mistake that I made, or a mistake that can be made. I've made it before, but if you don't build, see, I want to try to keep this free. If you don't build your lumber building, your lumber research building quickly, you just start losing a ton of stone, and you really need to start just building layers upon layers of walls, especially for the last horde. It just seems like you need to have a base expanding in every direction with a little bit of defense. No, like basically a lot of defense, but you need to be able to split your army and then like one set of walls is going to fall and defense is going to fall and you need to fall back, and you just kind of almost seems like you have to perpetually keep falling back, and you can't have any place to where there's direct access to the bulk of your civilization where basically your command center is. You just can't have an easy access to it. Otherwise, you just lose, and it's very sad. Okay, so let's see where else we can squeeze some houses in here. Because the name of the game is gold, just like any other RTS. You gotta have tons of money. See, because I think my quarry will probably squeeze in here. It's always these corner spots that give a ton of resources. Actually, this one's probably better. Okay, so we'll just do this here. We're out of food. Let's see if we can. This is, oh man, iron's right up here. I don't know how defensible that is. We'll go scout it out. But iron is so needed early because archers just, I mean, they're great for scouting, but their damage output is dang near laughable. Gosh, I really, you know what I really want? See, this isn't too bad. One choke point here, one larger choke point, but there's a lot of woods down here, so let's just keep exploring. Thankfully, these are narrow choke points, so definitely will be relatively easy to defend. I'm just wondering, do I want to start putting up towers? I don't think a surplus of wood will actually be that big of an issue. So there is something with these hunter cottages. You know, they don't give as much food if they're not near.
Units under attack.
They don't give that much food if they're not near woods, but they have like an area, like a zone of control, so you can't build these buildings near other ones. So it's actually not a bad thing just to place them kind of out in the open in random places where they give you food and they don't get in the way of a lot of the other buildings. Because the food is actually a pretty, you just find yourself constantly running out of food until you get access to farms. And then farms become your primary source of food, but you can only build farms on this grassland area. So what you'll probably see me do is save this grassland area, build predominantly around here, and then there's more grassland over here. So that's going to be my farming land. Just seeing if I can squeeze this one in. Can't do it there because that's where our... Let's do it here. Because sometimes they have these weird things where you can't build a quarry if there's some, like they need some kind of exit entry point. That doesn't 100% make sense to me at this moment in time. There's some things kind of like hidden behind. Okay. I should have totally checked on you as well. Let's just bring you back a little bit because it looks like she's pulling more aggro than I'd like.
Is everything okay?
You are gonna pay me.
And double source iron up here. Big open space. Now, but the question becomes, is it actually defensible?
Who's there? A colony. A colony who? A colony who needs a mayor, that's who.
These are not great. 2 free towers, it's not that big of a deal. Plus 10 iron reserves. They're both bad. I mean, 2 free early towers would give me access to wood. We'll do it.
You order?
Because by the time you're actually pulling in iron,
Building
oh
completed.
my goodness.
Let me put an arrow
Wow,
in his
this
head.
is actually a great
Gotcha.
spot from a resource perspective. Maybe not from a defense
Sounds
perspective, but definitely
interesting.
from a resource
It could be
perspective.
worse.
Okay.
Yes.
So I actually like using this guy
Building
to
completed.
clear.
Bring 'em on.
He just attacks so much faster, he's so much more reliable. Archers have good range. So I'm going to actually leave my archers to defend choke points and him to start doing some entry-level clearing so we can start moving towards securing this area over here. We do have those free towers. The question is do I want to... How far do I want to expand out here? Probably not far. I found... So I like expanding. I like expanding quickly. It can get you into a lot of trouble. So, how are we doing on resources here? Quite honestly, though, if we just put one tower back here, or like really, to be honest, if it was like right here. So let's actually build this for now. If we just put one tower here, it could guard both, and I could just keep one archer, maybe even both of them over there. I would love to get access to this stone, but I don't think it'll be that necessary. Just from a safety perspective, because it does look like stuff will actually come from that direction. Let's just throw up one of our free towers here. She'll jump in there.
Any orders?
And these two
Commander?
will start the killing spree for securing. We definitely wanted to get lumber quickly. 10's good. Well, never mind. Alright, so since it looks like 8 is much, because once again, trying to maximize the amount of space here that I can get. See, this is what I'm talking about. That one sneaky ninja zombie
Building completed.
Gotcha.
that could come in and wreck your life. Alright, let's keep on the tents up here. I gotta be thinking power as well. Because power-based buildings can't be built within.
Attention.
Can't be built within
Building
4 squares of each other.
Attention. Building completed.
Alright, good. What do we need for lumber here? Energy. Exactly what we just started talking about. Let's see. Energy. We need wood. Okay. We're not going to have an issue with workers anytime soon. We are tapping out our food, but energy is the name of the game right now, so we're just going to start saving up our wood. Thankfully, we're finally starting to harvest some.
You again.
Okay.
My bow
Looks like she's for
is
safety.
ready.
We're going to start assisting.
Building completed.
Yeah, because this game is such a race against the clock, and some of the difficulty options that you can do, you can shift down. You can shift down how many are basically how you can control the days, give yourself more time in between the hordes. Because I think in the normal base, it's basically around every 12 days-ish. Get attacked by a horde. And a horde is just basically a group of monsters that spawn off map, I believe, and they just come. Maybe they don't spawn off map. I think they do though. Because I would think, you know, it would be interesting if all the zombies were on the map so that you could make the final horde easier by how many zombies you killed earlier on. That would be an insanely cool mechanic. I just don't know if it exists or not. I don't know if you ever potentially could, because the ability to push out to the edge of the map where the hordes probably, if they do spawn, or where they're just maybe grabbing a pool of units, would be so crazy dangerous. I don't even know if it's possible. Alright, we should... Do we have enough for power now? 20. Okay, no, we're getting there though. We're making money. This is good.
Tell me.
This better be good.
Oh, look at that little sneaky boy.
Yeah. Chase my arrows.
Commander?
Oof. We have so much stone access though.
Our forces are in danger.
You again. What?
Any orders? colony.
Oh, here we go again.
Alright, we got enough lumber now for power. See, this is that weird base. So, like, this can't be built flush up against a tent. It actually needs a ring of area around it in which it can be built. Or, well, things can't be built. Just kind of trying to think about the future here. Because we'll probably build one there. And I'm just thinking, will that be in the way of this one over here? Let's just build this one for now. Once again, our strategy was to set up a tower here. These things just, what's great about them is they give 2+ range to your units. Plus they give, I believe the towers just have pretty solid vision range in the first place. But it's actually about the size of an archer's vision range. So they don't get necessarily a bonus from in the tower from a vision perspective, but just from a range perspective.
Orders, sir. Great idea.
I'm just wondering if this is how defensible this is.
Understood.
It'd be amazing if there was no path over here, but it looks like there is. Where does it go? Maybe actually.
What?
So we're
Gotcha.
gonna pull her back just in case something starts trying to sneak
Any
this way.
orders?
I'm gonna use him to come over here.
I will kill
I'm hoping
our
this thing dead
enemies.
ends, but it doesn't
I will
look like
kill
it's
our
going to.
enemies.
Oh,
Let's
actually it
get
does over there.
building.
Let's see how far it goes this way. Because it would be amazing if I just had a wall here. Ugh, this would be a huge wall, but doable.
At your service.
But if it just completely dead ends over here, this would be huge, which it doesn't. Sad face. Oh yeah, so we definitely need more access to lumber. We're getting close, or maybe we just hit full money. So let us check out lumber here. Trying to maximize the amount of lumber I can get. It's a good spot. Might be able to squeeze one in over here. So that'll be huge. We got a bunch of money. We need food. Let's see if we can start getting some of these fishermen cottages. Here we go. So not here. That's sad. Alright. But we can get some hunters cottages. This will be great. 13, 14. We do it here. So once again, this is where it looks like you can't build something around the ring of it. So we'll put this one here for now. I like the fact that they'll choke in here. We're going to use that surplus of money to continue the expansion game. Because I would really like, from a space perspective, because this is actually kind of tight. This is pretty open, but man, I guess major defense area here and then here. I'll probably just scout that out at some point in the future, but I think where I'll probably for sure, I'm trying to think if maybe I'll wall here, if there's only maybe 2 entry points. So we're gonna, for now, we're gonna bring this guy back. He's seen it.
Of course, my commander.
Looks like this goes up, down, and around. This at least gives us some access to some, well, actually, we could probably put another fishing wharf here. Nice, nice, nice. 14 there. You know what I'm gonna do is I know I'm going to wall here, right? So I'm going to try to put this as tight up against this, knowing that I'm going to eventually expand this way.
Commander, here we go.
Man, I just feel like they just did such a great job with the artwork, the ambient. Oh my gosh.
Tell me.
No, get away. Okay. Oof.
A new task. This
That's
better
one
be
thing they
good.
definitely need to work on. You see her just like running into stuff. That happens a lot. It actually happens. Fortunately, if you have melee units, like there's these guys called Luciferians. They're big flamethrower guys, and they're really slow. So they always get stuck behind your range units, and they just basically
You
Building completed.
They basically do exactly what you just saw there. They just
Waiting on orders.
smash their faces into whatever they're running into. That's something I would love for them to work on, is pathing, and I know that's challenging. Most games struggle with that.
Attack!
I know it was a big thing with StarCraft 2 when it came out, was the fact that it actually could have good pathing. Like stuff would go around, because in Warcraft 3, that was always a thing. Blocking units was huge. Oh man, we have our first runner, infected colonist. She's on the run. Whew. I'm just hoping he's smart enough to actually focus her and kill her. Man, it looks like these areas are wide open. This is gonna be brutal. I think we are gonna stick with the strategy of walling here, and then maybe just having more of an open-based defense here, at least for the time being. It's nice that we have access to oil. But I mean, guys, this has been a great first start. Sometimes we got some nice tight chokes, which is really nice. This is looking a bit dangerous, but for the most part, this is a good start. If you like the video, please pounce on that subscribe or like button, and let me know if you have any tips or tricks as you guys have been playing this game. I'd love to hear them in the comments. And with that, guys, take care.